welchen Speed gehen wir gerade. Hier sehen wir den Grund. Ja, der hat schon einen wilden Drift mit Corner gehabt und hat dann mit einem Übersteuerer sich ausgangs der Hasselröder Kurve verabschiedet. Glück, ohne anzuschlagen. Hier Glück, dass man nur das Kies trifft. Und ja, das ist auch ein wilder Ritt. Ja, fast eine Rallycross-Einlage.
Car settling down, and that is Max Kronberg, a driver who, along with Henrik, still a very experienced pilot in the ADAC GT4 Germany. Backwards into the fence, looks like he's able to keep it going and gets the tyres back up to temperature. But Max Kronberg, let's have a look here what happened. Now, whether he was tagged, well, he went across the gravel trap and into the fence, and he won the closer at Hockenheimring at the end of last year, and that will seem like, you believe, has been into the pits. We're having a replay here as we look again at Philip Viskersen having that wild moment on turn 2. Keep the power on, drag a bit of dirt onto the track. The Jamaican drivers here in the ADAC GT4 Germany, and finally Philip Viskersen's excursions have resulted in contact to the wall. Car 66, the car is parked up against the wall. Now, if he can't get it moved, it may well be we need a safety car. It's in turn 13. He just went wide, got onto the gravel, lost traction. Fortunately, no one else was there. Came back across the track. Relatively light contact, easy for me to say, with the, but able to rejoin. And yes, it was the Aston Martin at the top of the picture. And there was Ferdinand Winter just out braking himself into the corner and surrendering that position.
Haben wir noch genug Zeit. Jetzt sehen wir auch den Grund, warum der Niederländer das Ding hier im Kies versenkt hat. Er kommt in die Schikane hinein, schon wild über den Curb. Dann hat er ein leichtes Übersteuern, das korrigiert er, kann da reagieren. Dann kommt es zum Gegenpendler und dann am Ende auf der Betonwurst in Kurve 10 ja, das Heck dann verliert, sich eindreht und das Ding, wie gerade schon gesehen, bis zur Radnabe im Kies versinkt. Interessant, in der Einstellung mal zu sehen oder beeindruckend zu sehen, was das Kiesbett imstande ist, so ein Auto dann das mit der roten Flagge nochmal erleben, weil auch hier ist die Radnabe ungefähr das Kiesniveau. Ja, aber schau dir das doch an. Danny Berndt wird da abgeräumt. Das war eins der Wimmerwerk-Autos, wenn ich es richtig gesehen habe.
But really important now, the ripping off option. There we go. Never mind about doing it neatly. Chuck it to one side. You've left a bit in the pit lane, chaps. Right, there's a car, and that is the number 3, the leader, Tim Reiter, into the gravel trap. What has happened? That Finn Zulauf was putting on. Oh, and he's broken it. This steering is broken on the number 3 car. You can see he's picked up too much curb. Finn Zulauf says, thank you very much. I'll be having some of that. Steals past the number 3 BMW, and Lachlan Robinson under investigation. There's a car upside down. This is going to bring out a red flag. We've got a car on its roof. There's clearly been a very large moment. It looks like the 83 car of Mikael Makesh and Max Huber. Right, okay, full course yellow. Pleased to say the driver is out of the car. What's happened, he says. Well, that's what we want to know. So, car 83, that's Mikael Makesh. That has been a monstrous accident. The car is on fire. What has happened there to Mikael Makesh in the number 83 CV Performance Group Mercedes? He looks as though he's okay, but all the interest in the race continues. But we are fascinated as to what may have happened. Right, let's have a look. Going out wide, looks like he went out unaided, and he's ridden up the banking by the looks of things. The car has gone up high, rolled over the banking, shedding bits of bodywork. That's out on the exit of turn 10, I think. Mikael Makesh. Great sigh of relief from all of us here. He's able to crawl from that Mercedes-AMG. You do well to look dazed, chap. You've done well to walk away from that, and all credit to Mercedes-AMG. Round 2 of this. This was a lovely shot. Oof, down it goes, and absolutely wrecked. It takes a bit of effort to get one of these things upside down. So 10 out of 10 for that, for Mikael Makesh. Max Huber, I'm afraid to say, Well, he ain't going to get a drive, is he? Because that's not going anywhere. Car number 8. Great stuff from the Sape Motorsport. Number 24, Thomas Gore from Jamaica. But he overcooks it and spins around and loses all of those places that he made up. But here's a replay of what happened towards the back. This was the spin, I think it was, for the number 24 car. Turned around and Tommy Gore...
Mit eine Wiederholung, die wir uns noch mal anschauen. Was kriegen wir da noch geboten? Max Kronberger, der hat einen ganz, ganz heißen, wilden Moment gehabt. Der Beste nach der Qualifikation.
The one who is in the best position for that is our race leader, Gabriel Piana, currently ahead of Mark Di Fulgenzio in the Mercedes-AMG, but not by much. There's another look at Max Kronberg getting pushed wide onto the grass. He's able to rejoin. Tommy Gore, we got problems. Well, the 86 car of Emil Yerdrum, we just mentioned him, and he's got together with the 47 car of Tom Edgar. So we were just bigging him up. Well, it looks like Edgar's able to rejoin, albeit with the door open. He's going to be coming out again. Let's take a look here as we look down into turn 1. So the Mercedes to the inside, pretty unsighted by Tom Edgar, who goes to close the door. So Emil Yerdrum carrying a lot of speed into turn 1. It's not really my job to judge, so we'll let the stewards do that. But certainly the net result is damage to both cars. It looks as though Edgar has been able to rejoin. Gogolok kept well out of the way and then said, "I'll have that, thank you." And well, Emil Yerdrum, hands in the air, frustrated, like, what am I meant to do? As he looks, I think he's pointing at a car or the race marshals, but there is the car he got together with. Look at the state of that door. What's left of it? He's got a cat flap in the side of car number 47, but they are great to have them on the grid. Sana Summerbell, of course, the first name named after another driver, but Jan Marszałkowski gets together with him. The two cars making contact, Summerbell pointing in the wrong direction into the last few corners of the lap. Marszałkowski sees the gap, Summerbell goes to shut the door. The two cars get together, there's debris flying through the air. I think that was probably off the Audi. So, may have been off Jan Marszałkowski's car. Either way, it's not going to have done either of the cars any favours. And this was the view from Jan Marszałkowski's perspective. He sees a gap, and then just as he stuck his nose into it, he sees the gap closing. The question is, do you keep your nose in there? Do you stand on the brakes? Maybe you don't have much of an option across the curbs. But car 24 goes a-spinning. Leading the way, Enzo Giuli tucked up behind, he's too far back. He tries to leave it as late as possible in the braking. The two cars get together. Mikael Schrey spins around. Enzo Giuli takes the lead. Schrey's able to rejoin without losing another place. But now, here comes Max Rozam looking to steal away the second place. The stewards are going to be making a decision on this, but Max Rozam overcooks it suddenly. Alex Connor in a position to steal away a podium position. He may feel as though the stewards might intervene on that one. Third across the line, a first podium for Max Rozam and Leighton Fury. Having another look here. Well, from my angle, I don't know. This is why I'm not a race steward. I wouldn't want that job for all the tea in China. Some would say that Giuli had a nose in, and others would say that he dive bombed. It's not my job to give an opinion, but it is the job of the stewards. They have given 3 penalty laps to Enzo Giuli for causing a collision. That is going to give the win to car number 2. The win to Mikael Schrey and Gabriel Piana. They inherit the top step of the podium, and the 15-lap penalty that's been given to Enzo Giuli and Mark Di Fulgenzio. Well, the best one is at the top of your screen there. That's at the end. Oh, and there's a car that has spun already. Was that looked like the number 10 car? I think that might have been Denny Burns. Yes, it was. So Denny Byrne before the rest of the pack passed him, so he'll be able to take his position. A great qualifying from him. We just see just lighting up the tyres and the back end stepping out but he will be able to retake his 4th place on the grid. A really solid qualifying session from him. That's a heart-sinking moment, if ever there was one. You're on the formation lap and you suddenly see the scenery spinning around you. Ferdinand Winter, who was behind, would have also got a bit of a warning there as to how slippery it is in a very similar car. 2nd place, setting after Finn Zulauf, and that was one of the Wimmer Wirth cars, the 71 car of David Lackner, and he who is sharing with Philip Dietrich. Now, has he kept it out of the barriers? Philip Dietrich will be keeping his fingers crossed. Well, a little kiss of the barrier. He's been able to reach. He never really got to stretch his legs in that car, trying to make up for it today as he challenges for position, and that's the 85 car that's gone spinning. That is Alex Connor. Podium finish from yesterday and a championship challenger. Alex Connor contact the CV Performance Group Mercedes is into the gravel trap. Let's have a look here. So he moved to the inside, to the outside, but it was the number 10 car of Denny Berndt who was also making his move on Enzo Julier. The 2 cars get together. The Mercedes is propelled off into the gravel trap and is going no further. Jan Marszalkowski, this was his view under the full course yellows. He went to the inside of Tommy Rackle. Maybe a little bit of contact there. Jan Marszalkowski, never scared to get his elbows out. Look at that and decided that he didn't do everything correctly. Now look at this on the inside. A dive barn manoeuvre from one of the CV Performance cars, and that has turned around the BMW of Niels Truger. So it was Emil Jördrum, I think, who got into Niels Truger, turning him around. That corner is so tricky. A dive bomb move into there is not always going to end well, and Emil Jördrum, you could see in ADAC GT4 Germany, looking to make it 14, maybe even 15 this weekend. And as already mentioned, he's won 3 times in the first 4 races. Brilliant stuff from Simon Birch. Now Andreas Jochemsen once again trying to go round the outside. You know that Birch is going to give him the squeeze here. He does exactly that. The car's running up really close to the wall, but now in the background, Josef Knopp, Luca Bosco, Mark Di Fulgenzio, all fancying a bit of the action, but it looks like a bit of damage for the BMW header Maxi Tarilon. So Marcus Eichela with smoke coming from the front of the car, and he's into the barrier. Looked like maybe steering damage. This is almost certainly going to bring out a safety car. Let's see what happened. There was Jochemsen and Birch alongside each other up ahead. Tarillion in there as well. And then it was that little bit of contact there. So getting together with Maxi Tarillion and making heavy contact with the wall. This is the perspective from Tarillion. So out he comes. No, he didn't get to, so he just actually smacked it on his own, didn't he? So I wondered whether he'd clipped Tarillion, but no, it had all been done on his own. And in some ways, that's going to hurt even more because you know it was a mistake. It wasn't somebody else's fault. So, yeah, a bit of the car just falling off there, and then it led to him ending up in the wall, and the frustration all too plain to see. We are back to green flag racing. That caught us all napping, didn't it? Josef Knopp, Andreas Jochemsen, Maxi Tarillion, Luca Bosco. Now it's Tarillion's turn to go into the wall. Maxi Tarillion has that clip. You saw him make the contact. It's almost a carbon copy. Smoke coming from the car.
Unfortunately, that will be, if not a race ender, certainly a race chance ender.
Yeah, it looks like his steering is gone on that, doesn't it? So having a look from the outside, it just, that was a heck of a thump, actually. And he'll be lucky if it is just the steering that's broken on that, because that was a hell of a crack against that wall. I have to tell you, that wall ain't going anywhere. The car taking the full impact of that, and it'll give the driver a little bit of a shake as well. The 2 Mucker Motorsport Mercedes in the background doing well just to keep out of it, and on board with Eichela, we're seeing again that one. And yes, well, we've chosen the right cars to put the cameras on today, haven't we? Or maybe the wrong cars, depending on your perspective. Mikael Schrey, championship leader, and yesterday's winner in 6th place. Oh, problems into turn 1. That was one of the BWT cars. That was the number 18 that's been driven by Enzo Julier. A problem going into turn 1, made connection with Philip Viskersen. That was another car that had been in the wars yesterday. You can see how furious he is. Sorry, interrupted you, Adam.
No, that's fine. Toe-link damage on the rear of that car to start the rundown for Philipp Wiskirchen, and an equally broken Mercedes. One has to imagine, yes, the safety car has just come out before I could even finish the sentence.
And I think Philipp Wiskirchen's potentially going to have to retire as well. We're looking there just on the outside line, carrying a lot of speed on the outside. He may say that Philipp Wiskirchen was kind of in the middle of the track. I don't know whether there's an argument to be had on that. But Mathis Pluschkel, the teammate to Enzo Juliet, was on the inside. The corner, the front left corner of that Mercedes is gone absent without leave. The BMWs are going to be looking a little bit second-hand as well.
77. Both BWT Mucker machines outbrake themselves into the corner. It was just that there wasn't a BMW in front of Mathis Pluschkel, thankfully. The number 8 car, incidentally, was under pressure from Will Tregertha in that second lap of the race before the safety car came out as well. Collectively, everyone quite happy to not be dealing with such temperatures. We get a look here at a big strike of the rear from Daniel Drexel, and that unfortunately damaged his suspension. He was crabbing down the main straight just before we went to this replay.
Into turn 4 as well. He sees the gap. Can he get it slowed down? No, he can't. Momentarily, he takes the lead. Did he touch the wall? The car snapping at the back. He picks it all up again. This is a gift for Josef Knopp with less than 5 minutes remaining, and that was it. Well spotted there. He gave the Armco a right rattle as he came round the corner.
Yeah, can't get away with that too often, much like when you do it at the swimming pool at Monaco. And there you go, he's hit both of the right side corners of that car now. So
we're looking again at that moment with Tannoy Neumann and Maxi Tarillian side by side. A little bit of contact, an unscheduled visit to the penalty box for Maxi Tarillian, but he keeps it going. He keeps it out of the inner wall as well. Look at this for a bit of Oppo Loco out of turn 1. Straightens it all up, puts his foot on the accelerator. Nobody noticed, did they? Carry on as you were, chaps. Tannoy Neumann holds on to that 5th place.
Did very well not to seriously damage the car there with that much steering lock on when he clocked the right front.
Able to rejoin, just getting on the power. Traction at an absolute minimum here, really limited on traction. You'd think from Great Britain he'd know all about rain, wouldn't you? But there you go. The mist and the rain, they come on board with the teammate of Gabriel Piana. Oh, and what a shame. Senna Summerbell into the barrier in the Avia W&S Motorsport Porsche after such good progress in qualifying. Well, it looks as though he's certainly able to continue, so we won't get a safety car. As stand by your beds, that's all good news. But he just looked like he got it wrong. Yeah, so getting it wrong under braking. No traction to be had. Once you're on the grass, you're heading to the scene of the accident. Has the pressure on, but he's holding on well. That looks like the number 9 car, Tannoy Neumann, going spinning. So he got together with the BMW and the Neumann car. Well, it looks like he's escaped damage, but he drops to the back of the pack. This is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place going straight on. Mathis Pluschkel losing the braking point. Everybody behind him also going straight on. You get the feeling that traction is very limited into turn 1. Gogolok holding it all together. Keep an eye on Ivan Eccleshik in 4th place. Keep an eye on Piana challenging for the lead. And Gogolok goes just a little bit too much power. And suddenly Piana is through. Now, can he keep the engine running? Yes, he can. So Gogolok rejoins. Now, that was just behind Tom Bewley. But I don't think there was any contact. I think he just got on the power. Hard to see from that angle. But car 55 goes a-spinning. It's under investigation by the race steward, so maybe there was a little bit of contact. So Gogolok went spinning in the background, Josef Knopp and Ivan Eccleshik. By my reckoning, Ivan Eccleshik is looking like the danger man in this in Love and War. We're riding on board with a 3rd place. That is a spin for Marcus Eichscheller. That is such a shame. He was in 8th place, but he's now dropped a handful of positions. But he's on, he's lost it again. He rejoins. This time he makes a connection with the barrier. So real issues there. He spun, he rejoined, lost the traction and spun again, getting in and out of the car. We're looking at a replay here. What we're going to look at here, this is the Marcus Oschersleben that we saw earlier, taking a billboard with him as well. So a fairly miserable time after what was a very strong start to the race. And the back end of the car getting away. The DECRA sign will send a bill to him along with a liquid moly one, but that's the least of his problems this afternoon. It has been a very long but entertaining afternoon. Luca Bosco and Matis Pliskol started in 7th place, but now Piana goes spinning as a result of contact with Tommy Rackle. Also car 47 under investigation for speeding. Made a connection with the BMW, and the stewards are going to take a look at that. I wonder if there may be a sting in the tail here for Tommy Rackle after such a mature drive. The steward's going to be looking at that at the moment. Mikael Stray in the car to complete the first lap, and I have to say that's a very sensible opening lap for GT4 Germany. Everybody realised, oh well, I spoke too soon there, didn't it? That looks like the oh dear, that's the number 20 car of Jan Mathias. So he did a spin, tried to correct it, and there is a tyre. He can't really cut back in from there. Let's have a look and see what happened. Bumping over the curbs, that was William Tregurtha doing a bit off-roading. By that point, Jan Mathias, making his debut in ADAC GT4 Germany this weekend, had already turned around. Now, was that as a result of contact from another car? Problem is that Mathias has missed the pit entrance, so he's going to have to go all the way around the circuit, an entire lap, for safety reasons. You can't leave a car stranded there. Let's see if we can find out what happened. That is an unusual way to spin into turn 1. If there'd been a bit of contact there, the car goes spinning around into the gravel trap, comes to a stop. So the gravel trap doing what it needs to do. It's turn 1. We often see cars out-braking themselves, but we don't often see them swapping ends in that particular way on the outside line, turning into the corner. Last time we saw the ADAC GT4 Germany, they've also had a couple of second places this season and a couple of poles, and there, Jan Mathias, so he had done that stop to change the tyre, but the car has spun around. Looks like he's got into yet more drama. Been in for that tyre change, but he too got into drama. So let's see what happened there. It was at the chicane, getting together with Matthias Salonen, and Jan Mathias getting a very hard baptism into ADAC GT4 Germany. It's great to have him here, but that is not the kind of baptism he wanted in this series. The car turning around. He's already a couple of laps down, and that would not have helped at all. An incident involving car 43. We don't have a number 43. I think it was probably that car of Jan Mathias that is under investigation. There was Tim Reiter also just losing it into turn 1. And we said a number of people are doing that. And again, that's the next one to do it. We've seen it all day long. The local driver from Austria, he's been looking forward to this all season long. Going wide is Max Rozan, going very deep in turn 3, losing an awful lot of positions. He's probably going to take out a billboard here, just avoids the billboard, but falls to the back of the pack, and it looks like he's got problems with that car. I think he is still running out on track, but you can see that is where potentially a bit of contact, maybe a bit of damage, but Max Rozan getting spat out of the pack on turn 3. The view from Matis Pliskol, and that is the person that the collision was with. That's Matis Pliskol, and you can see the impact was enough to snatch the wheel out of the hand of Matis Pliskol. Razzoon more than racing car, and that's one into the gravel. That is Niels Truger for FK Performance Motorsport. This could be a disaster for Jan Marszalkowski, because this will almost certainly bring out a safety car. Contact from another car that turned Gogolok around, and he will be taking over the number 55 car when the pit window opens, and Marszalkowski would love to have gifted him a nice 3.5+ second gap, but that's not going to happen because the safety car is out and all the gaps will reduce to nothing, because car 49, Niels Truger, is going to need to be retrieved, and the South African Joseph Ellerine is not going to get a drive in that car this afternoon. You can see the rain on the windscreen of Joe Warhurst's car. for the FK Performance Motorsport. He saw his sister car, but he and Gabriel Piana points for 5th place. Then it's Luca Bosco with Matis Plushko, Leon Vassather and Tim Reiter. And there's a car that didn't quite make it to the finish, Philip Dietrich. After all that hard work, Philip Dietrich, who at that moment, oh, what a shame. After all that hard work, made it to all but the very last corner of the race. The back end of the car, turning around. He fortunately manages to avoid some great avoiding action there from Tom Edgar to come home in 16th place. But so close, and yet so far, this is what it's going to look like on board. And I should think Philip Dietrich would have had a big sinking feeling in his stomach. Also, David Lackner, who would have been watching on from the pits in the Wimmer Werk Motorsport garage. Everybody now fighting for those positions, and it looks like the 30 car is either in trouble or a lot of dirt. Look at Gianni van der Kratz doing rallycross across the corner. Yes, the number 30 car trailing smoke. I think Henrik Still might be in trouble here. There's some smoke coming from the right front. Luca Bosco giving a little punt in towards turn 9. This is very physical racing. Cars go scattering everywhere. That's Matthias into the fence, one of the BWT cars, and you can see there on board with Luca Bosco. We're going to get a safety car here, I've no doubt about that. Oh, what a shame, Gianni van der Kratz as well. That has been a humongous accident. So we've lost Bosco, we've lost Matthias, and we've lost Gianni van der Kratz. This may even be a red flag, I don't know. It's safety car at the moment. This is where it all kicked off. So Still went spinning, looked like pretty well unaided. Bosco, it was a big impact. He also collected Leon Vassather, so that's going to be another casualty. That was a big impact for the BMW. Bosco, that was a big thump, but this is a bigger thump there, getting collected by several cars, and that's a really horrible feeling. This is probably not going to be pretty viewing, I shouldn't think. Bosco, the wheel snatched out of his hand, and then came the next one as well, and you just feel the trauma as those impacts come. His car just getting bullied out of the way. It's a very fast corner, turn 10. And the cars go piling in, and the driver very much a passenger. I mean, at that point, you're just going to the scene of the accident, aren't you? Philip Dietrich, well, you could see he was the one who clipped the front. He went wide out of 10 and almost avoided. Oh, good heavens. That was a massive impact from Gianni van der Kratz, T-boning. Well, that explains why Luca Bosco was looking a little bit shaken, doesn't he? He T-boned the pink Mercedes, and that was a very big impact. Look up here, and you can see the cars scattering. Bosco was now side on. He had been punted from pillar to post. And there are so many cars involved. So that was Vassather as well, who was involved in that. And we got lots of angles on this. There's Bosco, disappeared off. There's Matthias onto the inside wall. There aren't many cars that weren't involved in that. So Tommy Gore got through before it all happened. And that was the biggest impact. And it was on the driver's door as well. So Luca Bosco, really pleased that he's all okay. Great to have ME Motorsport on the grid of ADAC GT4 Germany. And that is the Wimmer Werk Motorsport car into the barriers. There's been a massive impact. Another big drama. That is David Lackner and Jan-Philipp Springhoff. They've come together up into turn 1. This is going to bring out a safety car, no doubt about that. I'm hoping it's not going to bring out a red flag, because there's a lot of debris on the track. That is in turn 3, not turn 1. So up at turn 3, 2 cars that have come together, a very fast section of circuit. They were involved in the earlier accident as well. Right, let's have a look here. And just a bit of a punt, and it looked a little bit, whoa, what an accident, over the top, and he rolled the car. David Lackner rolling the Porsche, having gone over the top of Jan-Philipp Springhoff. That looks something very similar to a brake failure to me. They're getting airborne. What a humongous accident that was. Taking the number 10 car, Simon Birch, as well, but the car just didn't get slowed down. Launched himself over the top of the Mercedes-AMG, back onto 4 wheels, going up and over. Also involved was the other of the BMWs, but it looked to me like Lackner had very little in the way of brakes. That is a scary moment. The blue sky as the car goes over, and that was a very big accident. Really pleased to see both cars out of that as well. The 49 of Niels Tröger was also involved, and that is a bit of video that is going to be replayed for a long time to come, doing a space shuttle impression. The Wimmer Werk Porsche pointing skywards, having used the 86 car as a ramp. That was on board with David Lackner, hands off the steering wheel, and you are just a passenger. The car rolling over. We're still at a full course yellow at the moment. I do reckon that's going to be a safety car now before too long. 17 3/4 minutes remaining, and I cannot tell you how happy I am to see David Lackner walking away from that. Well, Jan-Philipp Springhob, yeah, he's like, I didn't know what happened. I just had an impact, but
aus der Sicht von Avia WNS Motorsport Schrei bewusst die Runde verhagelt. Aber gut, da muss er, Achtung, 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 ganz, ganz großer Code Brown Moment für das Auto von...
We've got yellow flags out at the moment, so I don't know why the yellows are waving for the cars. I think there's a bonnet up on Springhob's car. Tano Neumann going spinning as well. So I think we're probably going to be bringing them around and starting again here. What has happened? I think that's Springhob's car that we saw at the Red Bull Ring, the dramatic accident. Right, we've got a red flag. This is good, gives me a chance to get myself together as well. So the bonnet up on the car, and you see Tano Neumann having to take a wide line, takes out one of our billboards as well. We'll send the invoice to him later. Yeah, fairly dramatic start to the race there. So we've got a red flag, and we're going to be brought back, and we're going to probably try it all again. I'm not entirely sure what the yellows were waving before Neumann went spinning, and I think in front of them, it might well be that some of these cars in traffic as Simon Birch loses the back end all on his own. The car spins around onto the gravel. Well, he's kept it out of the barriers on turn 16, the very slippery drag strip, which is like ice. You can see most definitely breakage at the back of the car. A nice bit of drifting down the pit lane, smoke pouring out of it, but the number 10 car is done and dusted. Denny Burton is certainly not going to get a drive in that this afternoon. He brings it into retirement. Oh, that is such a shame after such a strong run, but it kind of takes the heat off from those drivers around him. So we've got some flames on the car as well. You saw that there, so something just breaking on the car, and part of the suspension at the back potentially, but whatever it is, it's 11 of the season, and he did well to keep that at the barrier as well. The section of track, I said it earlier, on the outside of turn 16 and 17 is used as a drag strip as well. It is unbelievably slippery. Even walking on it, it's quite easy to fall over. It is like ice. Once you're on it, you are just a passenger, and he had to wait for the rest of the field to come through. You can see there were the flames at the bottom of the car that we saw before we cut away on the brakes. So feeling maybe the tyres have cooled down a bit, and there's problems behind the 91 car of Ferdinand Winter has spun around. He's had contact, he's able to rejoin, but now also in there the number 8 car, Matis Plushko, and there's a lot of damage to that car, the brand new car. We didn't want to damage that. Worse still though, they are dropping out of what was a 7th place. What a dramatic race. I should think that Avia WNS Motorsport, we just have a quick look here, it was car 9 on the inside of 8, and it was just 3 cars into 1, was never going to go. I should think Avia WNS Motorsport are quite happy to see this safety car, because Josef Knott, he may want to finish on the top step of the podium. The team don't need him to do that. They need him to finish second. Philip Dietrich, that's a good result for him. 7th place, so congratulations to Philip Dietrich. By far his best result ever in ADAC GT4 Germany, as we have another look at the reason for this red flag. And an 8th place for Jan Marshalkowski, who's taken over from Philip Goglot. You see him there just ducking through, avoiding all the drama unfolding around them. Good job also for Daniel Drexler. Mo Ritson in the top 10. He and Gianni van der Kratz with a 10th place. Tim Reiter, Leon Vassar, Somerville from Jamaica ahead of Matis Plushko rounding out the top 10. Then it's Mo Ritson, but Ritson's gone spinning, turned around in the background. He's gone together with another car, but car 2 under investigation. Stealing that position away. This was into turn 8 as well, and that was the spin that saw us lose 2 British drivers. At least we haven't lost them, but they've gone to the back. They are driving for the same team as well, and Joe Warhurst fancied doing a bit of rallycross while he was at it. Has to yield that position, but he'll come back for another go. There's a car pointing in the wrong direction, and that is the 91 car of Ferdinand Winters, and now being challenged by Alex Connor in the CV Performance Mercedes. Right, have another look. I think he may have gone unaided. There was certainly a Max Rosan-shaped car loitering in the background, but I don't think there was any contact. There may be those who disagree with me, but he rejoins, and then it will be championship celebration. Still fighting for position further back. It is a pass, or was a pass. Leighton Fury getting together with Max Kronberg. He spins the car around. The big beneficiary of this, Tommy Gore. He's going to get past both of them. So let's have a look again at the cars getting together, and it was Leighton Fury who went spinning. He was able to recover and get back out again, and fairly big thump from Max Kronberg, and I'm wondering whether there might be a penalty incoming. Then Gabriel Piana, that's Emil Yerdrum, who just having a discussion with the marshals, and maybe just describing what had occurred, but at the moment he's saying, I can't hear you, it's too noisy. So hopefully we'll see what's occurring out on the G2 in the same team car, the CV Performance Group car. But now, once again, let's have a look at the hand signals going on here. So it's, right, hello, mate. Oh, no, he's putting his visor down. He's like, hello, how are you? That is...